My name is Christopher Kyle. I also go by Show Kyle. Some of y'all know me on social media. I'm speaking on behalf of what Lou just mentioned, which is there's a much broader problem outside of the neighborhood. There's also an issue with nonprofit and the connection between nonprofit and the neighborhood. So I want to start off with my name is Christopher Kyle. I've worked as a community activist and promoter in Philadelphia for about 7 years now. I've observed and have been exhausted by politics in both nonprofit and nightlife. There is a problematic relationship with the two who have created an uncomfortable and even dehumanizing environment for queer people of color. This realization began with working at Mazzoni Center starting in 2009. From day one, I expressed my concerns over the way Mazzoni exploits queer people of color to receive HIV prevention funding and testing numbers. As a department, there were no actual community engagement, no real outreach efforts, no real interest in supporting or helping the lives of queer people of color living with HIV. I had many confrontations with Mazzoni's management regarding the disrespectful, racist, hostile attitudes towards myself and other people of color. I was constantly and unfairly subjected to harassment, ridicule, and threats of termination. A number of supervisions led to many fierce shouting matches that the entire floor of the department could hear. I was told that I needed this job and that I can't afford to lose it. With this being my first real job, I felt extremely vulnerable. Considering I was an integral part of connecting the Afro-queer community to Mazzoni Center and exceeding my work expectations on numerous occasions, no other person was subjected to this type of treatment. I fought and speak up on a constant basis for Mazzoni to engage the queer people of color community and to be more culturally sensitive and to rectify this toxic work environment. With virtually nothing being done, in my final year, I filed a formal complaint of racism, intimidation, and threats made by management. HR did a thorough investigation, interviewing everyone in my department, who all confirmed that they had witnessed this harassment. Nothing was done. There was no disciplinary action. And at this point, work became traumatizing and emotionally draining. After being burned out, I decided to leave and was taken by open arms to the Attic Youth Center. What I came to realize is that nightlife has a very similar view towards black and brown people. We are simply commodities for profit. We are not allowed to celebrate our identities or our culture within the neighborhood. One example would be a time when I reached out to Franny Price, requesting through Mazzoni Center, I put together an event coinciding with Outfest that celebrates Afro-queer culture and diversity. I was told that not only would she not allow it, but that I should consider not thinking divisively when coming up with events that wouldn't make everyone uncomfortable. In other words, I heard no black events. She also stated that we already have gay pride and that was enough. I was livid with her comfortability to tell me how and when to celebrate my culture. She also stated that if I took my events outside of the blocks of the neighborhood, it would not be supported. The reason being, it would take money away from the bars and clubs in the neighborhood.
Tell the truth, that's right.
Which, in my opinion, is highly problematic, considering most queer people of color events venture away from the neighborhood due to their ongoing racism and cannot take part in profiting from the biggest social killings that happens every year. I later went on to promote it at Taboo, where my first event was Beers and Queers Celebration. This was my own personal event. I didn't have any affiliations with Mazzoni or anything else. This was my personal event. Once this event began to generate buzz, I began receiving racist direct messages by white people calling my event a nigger party and all sorts of accusations of being ghetto and every other false stereotype that you could think of. I was bombarded for weeks leading up to this event, none of which I paid attention to. But this is a community that the neighborhood continues to breed. There is a deeply rooted issue beyond just racism, but actual delusion. The fact that it's taken 40 years to even get to this hearing proves that. If the neighborhood gave queer people of color the opportunity, they would realize just how strong and resilient we are, how much value we bring outside of what's in our wallets, our pants, and our blood samples.
Chris, you're out 3 minutes, but take a few more moments, please.
Take it home, Chris. Take it home. Go ahead.
How much? Okay, thank you. My experiences of being in this community have been traumatizing, to say the least. Not only for myself, but for many people that I truly love and care about. But I continue to fight until I get to the epicenter of what influences change. This needs to be the last generation of young black queers having to fight within a community that should be welcoming and safe to them. Thank you.